Hello there everyone, and this is Resident Weavile, and today I'm talking Resident Evil Reverse. So Reverse came out recently, like the other week I think. It's been a while since we've been waiting on it for a while. It was supposed to come out a while ago. If you bought RE3 Remake, you got it. And I think it got delayed to come out in the summer, and then it didn't, and well, now we finally got it. And I've been playing it a little bit yesterday and today. Some other people have been playing it since it came out, and it seems pretty mixed, I guess is the way, probably negative. On Steam, I think the reviews are mostly negative at the moment. So what's going on with this game? So it's a 6-player deathmatch arena game that Capcom has made based on Resident Evil. It seems like it's mostly focused on the more recent games, so 7 onwards. Those are the models they're using. That's what they're drawing from, especially with the characters and everything. So what's it all about? I gotta say, first off, I think it's just kind of mindless fun. I can see why there's not a lot of content in it, and it can get boring pretty fast, and why people don't like it. I definitely agree with all that. I just think it's pretty fun just to mess around with it. Just play, fight other people. There's some fun stuff there, but there's definitely a lot of issues with it that I don't know if Capcom's going to fix it, honestly. I really hope they do. It just feels like something that they just see that people don't like it and just drop it like a hot potato and just don't look at it again. But there's some stuff that they could definitely fix and make the game a lot better. So I'll just talk about that a bit. First off, so what do you do in the game? So, like I said, 6-person, you're in an arena, just a death match. It's a free-for-all. That's it. That's the only mode you got, nothing else. They put a battle pass in for some reason. I don't think anyone even cares about that. But, so you play as a human, and then when you die as a human, you turn into a creature. And you become a creature. It's just, there's like levels to it. So if you have to collect these little virus capsules that are around the map that are purple, and whatever creature you turn into is determined on how many of these you have in your human. If you have none, you turn into a fat molded. Kind of sucks, but I'll get into all that later. If you have 1, you'll either turn into a Hunter Y or a Jack, and if you have 2, you'll either become Nemesis or the super form of Mr. X. It's really fun to be these forms, I gotta say, but man, that some of them got some issues. This game is not very balanced. And as a human, you got 6 choices. You have Chris, Jill, Claire, Leon, Hunk, and Ada. And as I said, I'm pretty sure they're trying to focus on more the more recent games, because that's the models that they use. They use the Resident Evil 2 Ada, Claire, Leon, Hunk, and then they used Resident Evil 3 Jill, and they used Village Chris by the looks of it, but without as big of a beard. I don't remember, but anyways, so no matter what, whether you're a human or you're a creature, you have 2 abilities along with your normal attacks. If you're a human, you have 2 weapons. You have one weaker weapon. Currently, all the characters, it's a pistol. And this weapon has unlimited ammo reserves. You still have to reload it, but there's no reserve ammo. You just have unlimited. And then there's what they call a personal weapon, which is stronger but does have ammo. And there's ammo pickups placed around the map to get more. So, for example, Leon gets the shotgun, the pump-action shotgun. Ada has a crossbow, that sort of thing. And everybody has 2 abilities. So Leon has like his roundhouse kick, stuff like that. Chris has the gauntlet that Joe uses in the End of Zoe DLC. So they kind of tried to theme it to the character, but some of them don't really make that much sense. I said this game's pretty unbalanced, and that definitely applies to the characters. Ada is probably the best human, like easily. There's a build I saw that someone posted where you can just one-shot people, because Ada's crossbow is ridiculous. Everyone has different stats, roughly, but it's not that noticeable. Claire's a little bit, because Claire has a lot of health compared to everybody else, but for the most part, it's not that noticeable. Ada can pretty much 2-shot into human with her crossbow, especially if you give it some upgrades. It's crazy. She has an ability where she goes up in the air and launches an attack and staggers people. She's just so strong. I'd say Claire is probably the weakest. Her weapons just aren't very good. She does have a lot of health, as I said. Her abilities aren't very good either, from what I can tell. The others, they're fine. I'd say they're all about equal strength. I do like playing Leon. I'd say him. He's probably my favorite. That's not Ada to play. Hunk's pretty fun, but his abilities are kind of eh. He can turn invisible. Well, not invisible. He cloaks himself. He turns transparent, and it's much harder to see him unless you're paying attention. And he has this like a knife shank that does do a lot of damage, but it's very, very short range. Also around the map, along with the ammo pickups, the virus containers, there are green herbs. So if you get hurt as a human, you will slowly regain health. But if you go up to a green herb, it will give you a sudden burst of health. So that's how you can quickly heal yourself. And over time, the virus capsules will get placed, as well as special weapons. So these are like, there's 2 different grenade launchers. There's the electrical gun that Claire uses in 2 Remake, and there's a rocket launcher as well. They only have 1 use, but they're very strong. They can pretty much one-shot humans if you hit them directly, or at the very least stagger them, and then you can just take them out with your next shot. It does a lot of damage to the creatures, so these are definitely good to take them out when you're a human. But yeah, when you die, you become a creature. As I said, what you turn into is based on how many virus capsules you have. The fat molded, the fat molded. This thing's so bad. I think other people realize how bad this is because I've seen so many people just immediately just use one of its abilities just so they can not play as a molded. This thing is very slow. One of its abilities, it makes it move faster. It says it does more damage. It's not very noticeable. Its range, it's so slow. Its range is not very good on its attacks. Its other ability is a self-destruct. Because when the fat molded dies, it damages everything around it in a very small radius. And it's based off your health, so if you have a lot more health, you can just detonate yourself right away, do a lot more damage. But I've seen so many people they do not want to play as the fat molded, so they'll just immediately activate it just so they can go back to playing as a human. The other problem is that the whole point is to get points, which you get by eliminating enemies. But when you die, you lose points. And as the fat mold, you will lose points if you self-destruct, which, yeah, I think that's fair, especially because it's a sort of bonus that happens when you die. But I think if you trigger it yourself right away, you should not be penalized for that. Even if they make it a perk, because you can add perks to your characters and at least have to invest something, I think that's fine. But I think if you just activate it right away, you should not be penalized and lose 5 points for that. That's what I think needs to get changed with the fat molded. I get it shouldn't be very strong, but it's just so frustrating to play as a fat molded. Now, Jack and the Hunter Y, as long as you get 1 virus capsule, which is pretty easy after you get about a minute into the game, they're quite strong. They're very fun to play too. I think the Hunter Y is stronger than Jack. It's just much faster. Its attacks are much faster. Its abilities are really easy to use. As a creature, instead of having a cooldown on your abilities like you do as a human, you actually have like an energy bar that they deplete a certain amount and it will recharge over time. The Hunter Y can spit at enemies. It barely uses any energy, so you can just spam this thing over and over again. It's a little bit slow, but if you just keep doing it, you'll hit someone eventually. And then its other ability is like a swallow, where all the creatures, their second ability, it's usually their shorter range one. If you kill someone with it, if you kill a human, you get an animation where you're invulnerable, so no one can hurt you doing it, which is definitely good. If you weren't that, it'd be useless. But it's pretty fun. So as the hunter, you'll as long as you down someone, they're low in health, this is when you want to use it. You'll like swallow them and spit them out. It's not great. I wouldn't use it unless you're going for the kill, but otherwise, hunter-wise, it's really fast, pretty strong. Jack's really fun to use, but man, I do think the hunter is just better than Jack because he's much slower. His attacks are much slower. They're a bit more unwieldy. His abilities also, he'll spin around twice. He has his chainsaw scissors and just hit people in a radius around him. He moves forward about the same amount he would be moving, so wouldn't fall behind if you're chasing somebody. You'll usually just catch them with one of the swings, so that's good. His other one's his punch, so if you kill someone with it, you do the welcome to the family moment to them. When they die, they forcibly get turned around, they get punched. It's pretty funny. But yeah, they're pretty fun. Now Nemesis though, Nemesis is probably the best one. The Super Tyrant's also very strong. I do think Nemesis is a little bit better. If you get 2 virus capsules, you're sitting pretty no matter what. But you definitely want Nemesis. Nemesis, he just goes around punching everybody. But his abilities are the rocket launcher, where you'll aim it at whoever you're focusing on. Because as a creature, you can like focus on a specific enemy if you want, and your camera will like follow them. So you'll aim at that person, or you just I think you can free aim it if not, but usually you'll be tracking someone. And then you can fire it. If you don't fire it after a couple seconds, it'll go off automatically, so do pay attention to that. And his other abilities, he'll pound the ground, some spikes will come up, and then his tentacle can like whip somebody afterwards. So even if you don't catch someone with the pound and the spikes, they might get hit by the tentacle, which is pretty nice. The Super Tyrant, the only reason I say Nemesis is better is because his abilities are a bit frustrating to use. One is a leap. It does not go very far. So it's only good in short range, or at short range is when there's maybe 2 enemies grouped together. You'll hit both of them. The other one is his move in his fight at the end of 2, where he puts his claw onto the ground and rushes towards you. There's a fun kill animation if you kill someone with it, and it's a good way to catch up. But man, it just does not want to work sometimes, it seems. And that's the other thing about the game, is just some frustrating things with bugs and the connection. Like sometimes it just seems like you just can't hit people, and I've had connections drop in the middle of a match. I think you'll probably see it in this gameplay here, where it just says I lost connection to the host, and then the game's over. That's it. Sorry. So that is definitely an issue that needs to get fixed. And man, I said it was unbalanced. I've said some problems with the characters and stuff, but there's some other issues, like sometimes you just get stun locked and there's nothing you can do about it, especially if you're fighting like 2 people and there's just a big brawl going on. You just have no idea what's going on. You just mash attack. If there's 2 jacks around, oh my god, just leave. If you're a human, just don't go near them. Just shoot them from a distance. If you're stuck with them, good luck, you're dead. But if you're one of the jack players, prepare to just swing away at each other. Someone's gonna get stun locked, and then that's it. You're dead. Sometimes the human players, they can stun lock you if they have 2 special weapons. You'll just get hit by a grenade. You'll get staggered. They'll shoot you while you're getting back up. They'll just hit you with another grenade, and then that's it. So definitely, the game's unbalanced. I feel like it's meant to be to a certain degree, which is fine. But oh boy. There's some really frustrating things about this game. And the last thing, the maps. Oh man, the maps. There are only 2 maps. That's right, 2. That's it. They waited this long to give us the game. I don't know why it took so long for us to get Reapers, but 2 maps? Really, Capcom? 2 maps? That there are so many more that you could have added, and I really hope you add some more. Because all you get right now, you have the RPD, and you have the Baker House. And for the most part, even if they didn't reuse assets, they just reused the layout of the areas and opened up some walls. So for the RPD, you get the main hall, and then some areas off to the left and right, and that's it. The Baker House, you get the front part of the main house, the porch, the outside with the trailer, and then part of the guest house, and that's it. That's all you have. So they're not very big, which is fine, because there's just 6 people and it's a free-for-all. I don't have a problem with that. But 2 maps, really? And the music's the same and it just repeats itself over and over again. It's most of the time you're not paying attention to it, but when you do pay attention to it, you're just like, what? Can't they have a different track? Can't we listen to something else? But yeah, the 2 maps, they don't even take that long to learn. You can learn the whole map in 1 game easily, the whole layout of the place. And it gets old really fast because you're just playing the same 2 maps over and over again. Like, come on, you couldn't add the castle from Village. You couldn't add the village from Village. There's other places you could have added to. You could have added, I don't know, the barn from 7. That might have worked. The ship. You could add, I don't know, the Nest Lab from 2. You could add the streets and the shops from 3. That would have been a good one. So yeah, I really hope they add some of these things, because 2 maps is just not going to cut it. So yeah, all in all, Reavers, it's fun. It's pretty mindless fun for a little bit. It's going to get old pretty fast, especially if they don't add more content at all. But if you want to hop in with some friends, just because you guys all you got R3, you got it. Why not? Just try it out a little bit, see what you think. It is going to be free for all, so you're all going to be against each other. But hey, if you want to just waste an hour, why not? It's not, there's some worse ways you could spend it. But yeah, the game's not very good, and it needs a lot of work to get much better. But I'm going to keep playing a little bit because it's fairly enjoyable. Yeah, that's about it. It needs a lot of work. So, yeah, thank you for listening to me. I know I rambled a little bit here. I was getting used to some of the controls on PC with my key bindings because I was playing on Steam Deck at first. So I've dropped some wrong inputs there, especially as Ada. So you can laugh at my gameplay all you want on there. I deserve it. So, yeah, thank you for listening. This is Resident Evil signing out.